Let's talk about Illinois, another team I'm into.
Oh, you love Illinois.
Yeah. Well, no, I
you...
wouldn't say I love Illinois. I'm into Illinois.
You live in Illinois.
I do live in Illinois. I have Illinois friends, Ty.
All right. I'm also interested in Illinois. I was kind of surprised to hear your optimism. I went back. I took a harder look. My guess is you're still probably a little bit higher on Illinois than I am.
Okay.
But last night, I'm sitting down here in the studio, probably 9:30. The dog's sound asleep. I scared the crap out of her because I looked at this schedule. I looked at my notes. I audibly gasped. And I said, and I texted you immediately. I said, I think maybe you were right.
Yeah.
Maybe I was overlooking Illinois in a way that was sort of unfair. So it's not hard. I don't think it happens, but it's not hard to envision a world in which Illinois goes 10-2 because of the schedule.
Agree.
Like they've got
a
two
lot
Goliaths
has to break
on here.
right, but I agree.
2 Goliaths on here at Ohio State in week 4. A week, by the way, before Ohio State goes to Iowa, so maybe a little bit of a look ahead. They're also home against Oregon in week 8. But otherwise, like, stop me when you hear a team on here that you think is a definite loss, okay?
Okay.
UAB.
Mm-mm.
Duke.
Mm-mm.
Southern Illinois.
Mm-mm.
Purdue.
Mm-mm.
Michigan State.
Mm-mm.
Maryland.
Mm-mm.
Nebraska.
Mm-mm.
UCLA.
Mm-mm.
Iowa?
Where's the game?
I don't have that in front of me. Iowa?
So Illinois against Iowa this season is at home. Final week of the season. Or final home game of the season.
Iowa? And Northwestern.
No and no. So it's Oregon and Ohio State.
If this were a tougher schedule, I'd probably feel differently because I do not think Illinois is going to be as good as they were a year ago, just as a team. But that's a very workable schedule. And it features a bunch of teams that, frankly, have much bigger questions than Illinois does. So that's my piece. I've got more to say on Illinois, but you're the Illinois aficionado. You're the Illinois native at this point. So why don't you take it? What do you got?
They're a well-coached team. By and large, Bret Bielema hires decently well, recruits decently well. It is weird to me that Bret Bielema in the Midwest hasn't constructed just a wall of an offensive line annually. That's been like a weird weak point, though. There's been a track record of Bret Bielema not only being like a ground and pound type head coach. Like he threw the ball a ton at Arkansas. Like his reputation is not necessarily accurate as far as I'm concerned.
But that line last year looked like it was going to be a strength, and it really underperformed.
Yeah, they didn't really run the ball. They're basically a run game away from solving their offensive issues. Like, I think they will be better on third down. I think they'll be better in the red zone, or at least more consistent. Like, you can run the ball, you can score points in the red area. So, like, they're well coached. They develop dudes at various positions, right? Gabe Akis was tremendous for a long time for them up front on defense. Hank Beatty and was Pat Bryant before him. Like, they've been developing receivers. They've developed DBs. I think the talent level and culture is at a winning place for Illinois, especially when their schedule is not obviously challenging. Doesn't mean it won't emerge as a challenging schedule as the season progresses. But Illinois right now, if they can run the ball and are able to figure out how to make sense of a new defensive scheme with Bobby Hauck coming in, the 3-3-5.
Yep.
Again, we said like the drive to 6. I'm just craving boredom across the board with Illinois football. Like if they're just a top 58 defense with the 3-3-5 and they can run the ball as a top 58 rushing attack. 9-3 is not crazy.
I don't know how deeply
like we just
at
a certain point, like I said in part 1, we have to agree that Bret Bielema is a good football coach.
Yeah, well, of course. Of course. I don't know how deeply you read on the whole 3-3-5 thing.
I mean,
I don't know how much in the weeds you got with that, but Bret Bielema is all about just trying to be different, is what it amounts to. So, new defensive coordinator, Bobby Hauck, formerly of Montana. He was retired for like a few days before he jumped back in. runs a 3-3-5. It's like a variation of the Rocky Long 3-3-5 back in the day. If you listen to Bielema, he wanted the defense to purposely be something of an eephus pitch.
Yeah, he wants to throw ghosts. Yeah.
He spoke to how hard it is to pick up top flight defensive linemen. And that's part of why he is going in this direction. I'm oversimplifying here, but one of the philosophies of the 3-3-5 is that your defensive linemen eat up space so that your linebackers can make plays.
Yes.
Right. So he wants space eaters up front. He wants to be less reliant on trying to get the big difference makers along the line. And he's going to go in something of a different direction that's unique to a degree in the Big Ten. I am concerned about the front of this defense being good enough to eat that space, to unlock the back, which is kind of how this whole thing runs. But if they can, there are a lot of good players in that back eight that I do like. So I think defensively, it'll be an interesting story to follow throughout the course of the year. But I also don't think it's going to click right away.
Sure.
So to that end, I'm going to be paying attention. The other thing we should mention, I don't think we said his name at all, but Luke Altmyer gone, Katin Houser now back in the Big Ten. We mentioned him in part one. Katin Houser's been at ECU. He's been extremely productive as a college quarterback. A very different player than Luke Altmyer. He's bigger.
Played in the Big Ten. Yeah.
Yep. He's bigger. He's got a stronger arm. Not nearly as mobile, but good pocket presence. Probably won't run into as many sacks as Altmyer did. You combine that with, as you said, good running backs, good wide receivers. I'm not sure if that's going to solve their problems from a year ago in creating bigger plays. I'm not sure about the line. That's probably a whole other conversation. But I think they're in a good spot. The over-under that I wrote down was 7.5. I don't know if that is still accurate. If that is still accurate.
Right.
Lock of the week.
Like, just pencil me in for the over on that one.
Right.
They're hitting over 7.5. I don't know how high they go here. 10-2 is probably a stretch. But if you woke me up in like 5 months and said, oh yeah, Illinois ended up going 9-3, it'd be totally believable based on
I'm seeing 7.5 at time of recording as well.
Give me the over then. Mark that down in grand total. Go out to portal.solidverbal.com, sign up to play. Go over with 18 confidence points on Illinois.
Yeah, this was, by the way, not that good of a defense last year. I guess that's Notre Dame's problem now, right? You get that portion of your roster, your coaching
Aaron
roster
Henry.
filled with they didn't.
Aaron Henry.
Illinois people didn't particularly. I know Bret Bielema didn't care much for the production of this defense, obviously, because it's not just Bobby Hauck. It's like a bunch of new assistants coming with Bobby Hauck from Montana, right, and taking over various positions on this defense. I love the over there. I think he's a good coach. I think the culture is strong. I think quarterback and receiver development has been good. They're essentially, once again, a running game away from being like where they were last year. They didn't win a bunch of 1-point games.
No.
They beat teams soundly. They took advantage when like USC's secondary was all beat up. USC's own defense and backup secondary made Luke Altmyer look like Joe Burrow that day. Like, they're a good team. Thanks for watching, and thank you for at least considering subscribing to the channel. It means a ton.